Last time on Gubat Banwa, Ashen Glory, you warriors did your arrival in Gatusan as the Kadungganan representing the noble Lakanit of Virbanwa, and indeed soon enough a task fell into your laps. As the village that you were staying in was under attack by Yawa, demons of negativity. After a fierce battle wherein Paloma was flipping off of rooftops, throwing magical spells and sword slices. Pablo was uttering commands while dueling one-on-one with a spear demon, one-on-one, as much as Pablo duels one-on-one, I should say. And Jace walling off the entrance to the village and preventing the demons from entering and amassing their violent devil god form. Needless to say, this was very impressive for a number of the people and started to endear you to the villagers, at least a little bit, given the history between your two mamandalas. You met with Elder Makusog, the leader of the village, their child Bulan, and their girlfriend Laya, the champion who fought alongside you. And Egil is also there, I suppose, the Virbanwa knight who is fighting alongside all of you. And there is a mutual interest here in ridding Ambuhotan of the Pale, a remnant of Isohapa's invasion of the Sword Isles, this strange, silvery skinned individual responsible for countless corpses over the years. Once a legend, now it seems, after some sightings, perhaps very real. Now, the Elder, of course, wants Firbanwa gone after all of this, though it seems like you all might have some opposition to this. After all, it is your goal to bring the one true God's light to these people. And as you all went to bed, you had dreams. Jace, reliving your past mistakes, starting to transform into a monster, and then being told by a hooded figure to find them. Pavlo, of utter loneliness and silence, except for the love of the one true God Makagagahum, and Paloma, of warm faces, familiar laughs, familial hands holding you, and you wake up. Paloma, you wake up, the sun has not risen. It immediately clicks in your head. The two figures you saw in your dream were your parents. And I think as you take in the fresh air around you coming in from the trees outside, that's where we will begin our session.
So,
Paloma.
oh,
Oh,
go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, please go.
Same. Paloma would have started digging through her bag and pulled out a frayed silk coat and would have sat in silence if nobody else is awake at this time, unless everybody else is awake at this time. But would kind of sit there almost like meditating while holding and running her hands over the silk coat.
Yeah, I think Pavlo, I assume we're like sleeping kind of in a shared sleeping area here. Pavlo would have like kind of awoken before the sun broke as well, plagued by nightmares, but hasn't gotten out of bed and is just faking sleeping, where you just kind of like lay there well in your thoughts, but letting your body just remain torpor.
I love the shared human horror that as soon as you were like, oh, just like pretending to sleep in bed after a nightmare, and all three of us were like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I,
In
I
there.
I remember being a kid being afraid of vampires, and that's literally what I did. I would just like cover my
oh.
neck and just wait for them to go away or attack. Yeah, Jace isn't in his bed.
Hmm.
If the camera pans around and goes through the forest, you would see Jace in isolating himself far enough where like his workout wouldn't be too loud or disturbing to others, and he would be he'd be working out, he'd be exercising, he would be doing really, really heavy duty exercises. But I think the difference is he has a string of prayer beads kind of wrapped around the arm that he's been struggling with, the one that hides the one that is covered in a demon blight in his mind. But his prayer beads aren't, round and soft and things that you hold on to meditate. They're jagged and piercing. And every time that he punches a tree or does an exercise, the prayer beads tighten and pierce into his skin. And the whole time he is meditating and praying for salvation from this curse.
Right. So, Jace, as you are doing your usual method of finding spirituality and pain hand in hand with each other, let's see, why don't you make a psalm roll for me? So that's just going to be a d12 plus that modifier.
It's psalm roll. I know exactly how much that is, which is a 1. And I have a d12 ready to go because I am prepared. And, okay.
I can tell from how you're telling
Yeah, I have no reason to doubt that.
Yeah, absolute professional.
Got it. D12 psalm roll. That's a 2 plus 1. So that gets me a 3.
All right, noted. The rhythmic pounding of your fists and the prayer beads starts to just become this horrible dissonant chorus. There's musicality in Gatusan that you are not accustomed to, which is why I made you roll psalm here rather than anything else. There are birds chirping, and you are adding to this chorus. There's something about it that is making you feel so small, and it is not making you feel any more comforted, Jace.
Jace continues and kind of falls into his prayer and meditation and exercise. And he, I think at one point just kind of collapses. He tries to wipe his face from all the sweat, but he just covers himself in blood. And he thinks to himself, is this all? Is this all I have?
And Jace, I think you do hear bare footfall approaching,
He
plodding across
grabs
the grass.
he grabs a weapon and he prepares himself. He's ready to go.
Jace, as you get up and spin around, you see the slight figure of Bulan, child of the village elder, wild hair, kind of a moon-like face, appropriately enough for their name. And this older teenager kind of looks over to you and goes, "This method of hurting yourself is some way of getting in touch with your gods."
Oh, excuse me. And Jace quickly grabs his clothing, wipes down the blood, covers his arm, wipes his face, puts himself into a presentable situation, puts his weapon in a peaceful kind of stance, and kind of immediately presents himself as put together. And he says, "Oh, sorry, was I too loud? I can go further out next time. I apologize for disturbing you or your people."
Volume is not an issue here. What you are doing is not an issue. I just sense darkness inside of you, and maybe that's what all of this is, but I cannot help but be concerned because you seem like a kind person. Laya said you were a kind person.
Hey, that's very nice. Thank you. No, maybe I just ate something bad, that's darkness grumbling in my tumbling. No, can I ask you something?
Please.
Your people, do they ever have they ever lost? This is a stupid question, I know, but like, have they ever lost anyone? Do your people regrets? It just seems like everyone's so happy. There's like dancing, and you're surrounded by little gods that I accidentally eat, and it's just like everyone seems at peace when obviously they have their struggles. I'm just trying to understand how you can sing with the weight and burden of your past. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, but
This
yeah.
this layer of life, this mortal existence is not the only state of being to us. There are many layers of existence, many layers of the cosmos, and the dance that we share with each other here is just one step along ascending to the winds, becoming spirits of the sky. And we have lost. We've all lost many things over the years. My mother was killed by a Virbanwa soldier trying to defend the village from a raid. And yet, who am I to waste any minute that I can feel the grass in my feet, that I can hear the bird song around me? That would be disrespectful to her memory.
I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't mean to.
No,
Yeah.
there's nothing to apologize for. I can tell that you have lost too.
Yeah. I just the interesting idea because like I guess in our belief system, the way to come back from loss is to go back to the one that gave you it in the first place. You know, to the salvation lies within Makakakuhum, and that whatever we need to do in his eyes, that's kind of that's the way we can become whole again. But it sounds like, if I'm understanding, you're always whole. You're just changing.
Very observant of you, Kadungganan. And I think you, perhaps, are always changing too. My question is, why do you run from it? And they walk away. Paloma and Pavlo, where are all of you?
I think Pablo has kind of watched Paloma pray and meditate a little bit, and at some point has just decided that it's now becoming like a little voyeuristic. It's like not this is no longer like what friends should do. So kind of unceremoniously fakes like a cough, like a snort, like a oh suddenly I've woken up and oh I can't control this. Slowly gets up and kind of goes over to the jug of water, pours himself a little bit, and just kind of fix a yawn. Oh, Paloma, you're up. You need some water?
Paloma's very still. She hasn't looked at you as you've faked awaking and getting water. She's still her hands are still tracing over patterns in this frayed silk coat.
Hmm.
Pablo, you know how long I've had this coat?
since you were a kid, I would guess, by the way you're holding it.
Yeah. I don't really remember much about the person who this coat belonged with or once belonged to. But I think somebody wants me to know more.
I see. You, out of everyone I know, and Pavlo fills a second cup and brings it over and sits kind of cross-legged next to you. Out of everyone I know, you probably have the best instinct. And I mean that. You feel things and you know things. And yeah, you can't explain it. I can't either. But when you're right, you're right. So search for it. You follow your instinct and search for it. It's going to lead you somewhere. We'll probably be along with the ride. Maybe not. But if you don't, it's probably going to eat away at you. But I mean, what do I know, right?
Well, Father Corazon says that I shouldn't just follow these weird impulses, feelings that I get, that I should probably pray on them for a few days, and then Makagagahum will give me the answer.
And I assume Makgahum was going to send you a letter, maybe send a messenger, a talking gecko or bird or something like that. That's how he speaks to us, right?
I've never had a talking bird before. Have you?
No. And I think anyone who tries to sell you that is trying to sell you something else. What I'm trying to say, Paloma. And Pavlo kind of puts like a friendly hand over top of your hand. Makagagahum is going to speak to us in a way that is divine. And I think Makagagahum is going to try to speak to us constantly all throughout our lives. But as people who are free and have will, it's up to us to decide whether or not we listen. What I'm saying is that maybe Makagagahum has been guiding you and you're just not listening close enough.
So I need to try harder. I need to do better.
Something like that. Something like that. And Pablo kind of finishes off his water and slowly gets up. Have you ever tried that cloak on?
No.
Huh. And Pablo just kind of saunters away.
As you go to like leave, you hear like the sound of the silk coat being folded up. Wait, Pablo?
Yeah.
What do you do when you have weird dreams? Not necessarily bad dreams, just dreams that are not necessarily good.
A nightmare?
No, it's not like scary. It's just unsettling.
I think about what unsettles me the most about it. And I dig to the core, the spore, the seed, the root of it. And then I live my life. I do something about it.
Do you think that's why Jace does the whole hurting himself for power thing? Like doing something about it, right?
I don't know what's in Jace's mind or his heart. Maybe you should ask him yourself.
Yeah. Maybe I can ask him over a duel. That way we can practice and hone our skills, but also connect.
Pablo just like bursts out laughing, like a big fucking laugh, just like belly, just like that was maybe like the funniest thing he's heard in a very long time. And he's doubled over and he's just laughing to himself. And he has pushed away all of his thoughts and feelings and is focused on this one moment and kind of stashes it away.
All right, friends. You all have your fill of food, have a little bit of time to train and stretch, perhaps reawakening some of these old techniques that you haven't had to display in a long time, brandishing your weapons, making sure that the motions, that the incantations, that the rites are still within your forms, and you conglomerate at the edge of the village. You are joined by Laya, standing tall, tattooed, muscular, with a big smile on her face and a long ponytail down her back. Bulan, who seems to be there mostly to see Laya off. As Elder Makusog stands, hands behind his back, waiting for all of you, and leaving his abode at about the same time as the three of you is a once again fully armored Egil in an outfit made to represent a large bird of prey, with the way his helmet is raked over his eyes, attempting to hide them, his large spear at his side. And Elder Makusog looks to the warriors before him and says, Bulan will watch the village, as that is their responsibility. You warriors will come with me. I will use all of the information given to find this Pale King.
Have you given any more thought to the conversations we had last night? We are here to help you. We're here to guide you, provide our support, and rid you of this evil. But what of the future?
Help, guidance, even trade is something that Ambuhotan shares with our neighbors. That said, I think Virbanwa wants a little bit more than that. You want your Makagagohum's words and teachings to live in our mouths and hearts. You want to use our rivers for water, for iron factories. That is not working with us, is it not?
When you say we want Makagagahum in your mouths, I see that as short-sighted. Your spirit is not contained within just a vessel. It can grow, it can be larger. You can speak more than one name. We understand that, don't we? And Pablo looks like Paloma and Jace. Yeah.
He just gives a thumbs up.
Your rivers. Yes, we would want to use the waters. But what good does it do us if we run them dry or pollute them and turn them into sludge? It's not beneficial to us either. I appreciate that you've probably come into contact with other envoys. I'm lacking it. But I hope through action you will see that we are people of virtue, at least us specifically. I cannot speak for the entire population, as I'm sure you're aware. But
Laya throws a glance over to Egil, who continues facing towards the forest.
But again, let our actions speak for ourselves, and maybe we'll continue the conversation. Maybe there's more to be had. There's more to build.
I like the idea of actions speaking for themselves, says Laya, cracking her knuckles a little bit. Makusog says, I will consider your words. Whatever individual goodness is inside of you, I hope it can move mountains.
Pavlo just kind of gives like a queer kind of a look, like that felt a little too specific, but I don't know what to say. In fact, I think saying something is going to hurt me. So Pavlo just kind of gives a polite smile and nod to acknowledge, and then stands up as if ready to move on to something else.
All right. With that, I think our expedition begins. The jungle starts to get thicker and denser around you. There are very few steps that you can take that feel like they're on a clear path, and yet even the old Makusog leading the way, his body withered and wrinkled with age, is still able to climb and skip across the tree roots and gaps in the ground as you all start to traverse the area. And I'm going to need one of you to make a roll for control, which is one of your skills. It's under royalty. Just one of you.
One
And
of
among the
us.
three of you, you can choose which one.
So metagame here. I got 3 in this.
I got a 2.
You're 4.
Oh, Paloma.
Well, hell yeah.
Paloma trying to keep it cool and composed. That's gonna be I rolled a 10, so that's gonna be a 14.
Wow.
Whoa.
Holy.
Okay. Very much noted. And that this is going to come into this is going to happen soon. In the meantime, I'm very curious as to how the three of you are handling traversing this type of environment.
Okay. Okay. I think general MO for Pavlo. Let's not work too hard, right? Like, yeah, we have to keep it like a sustainable pace. You know, if we push too hard, we risk an injury, and then we're no good to anyone here. So Pavlo will, will walk for a dozen or so minutes or so, and then isn't that enough? Should we stop for water, refill our skins? Maybe just take a sit for a little bit. And Pavlo will constantly just like ask to like stop.
The 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
20% of effort, 80% of result. Yeah.
Pablo, you also notice that every time you ask to stop, someone who is very much in agreement with you is Egil, who just goes, I agree, every time you suggest stopping, lugging his heavy armor and his spear with him this whole way.
I'm sure if you just ask Jace, he'll carry some of that for you.
There are all sorts of monsters in this jungle. There's tigers, there's hostile Gatusanon, there's demons, and there's this pale king. I'm not taking this shit off.
Well, I guess we'll see whether or not a tiger can crack this open and just like knocks on the chest plate.
It can't. It definitely can't. This is armor. That's what it's for.
And Pablo will just like kind of look over to Laya is with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the elder as well. They find any humor in this?
Yeah, I think Laya is kind of just going to roll her shoulder back and say, I've got the solution to you, looking back over to Egil. Just don't get hit. And she's going to take a casual little hop over a fallen tree.
Sure.
Yeah,
You're muted.
just casual.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Is this the type of landscape that would have like fruit trees or like coconut trees, or is that this type of environment?
Yeah, it definitely is. The coconut trees are going to get more plentiful, it seems like, as you approach the coast of the island. There's certainly trees for mango. There's certainly trees for all sorts of smaller fruits and nuts.
Um, Paloma, has, unlike Pablo, has been exerting lots of energy. Um, climbing trees, hopping from tree to tree, dropping down on the ground, like running ahead a little bit. I think at this particular stopping point, Paloma would drop down from like a branch, or like a possibly like a vine. She's holding herself up by her tail right now, and she's just gonna start whacking a coconut on Egil's armor,
What?
to open it.
Yeah, you're like husking it off of a sharp corner.
like
Yeah,
husky-
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I would love you to make a might roll real quick, Paloma.
Thanks.
No problem.
Oh, okay. Well, I rolled an 11 on the die.
Oh my
and
God.
That's a plus
Jeez.
3, so that's a 14.
Wow. If I was a, more superstitious person, I would say something like, you should have saved these rolls for the coming combat. But I'm not.
Womp womp.
Ooh.
It is flawless. You are able to identify in one swoop of your eyes both the weak point in the husk of the coconut and a sharp point in Egil's armor, and it splits so cleanly he almost doesn't feel it. But you see one arm just go up and be like, "Was that a bug?"
No, I just found a use for your armor.
Oh, I might need you to repeat that, as I seem to have knocked my headphones out in that slapping motion.
That's
Please repeat
commitment.
please repeat what you just said, Silvia.
Oh, no, I just found a use for your armor since you were struggling with it so much.
Hey, this is for fighting. I'm not some type of fruit opener.
We all serve our purpose in this world.
I know you think you're being cute. I know you think you're being funny. It's not going to be that funny when you run into this big, scary baddie and I'm not there to protect you because you got on my nerves too much. So be nice.
Well, I don't need you to protect me because I have Makagakahum looking out for me. So, bleh. And then Paloma's gonna like skitter off.
And he's definitely going to shout after you, "I took on multiple of those demons by myself. You'd be lost without me."
I'm gonna jump on this Eggle train.
Yeah.
I've okay. So maybe day wears on. We're continuing through.
Mhm.
I'm assuming at one point Eggle starts to like lag behind. Just
Yeah,
because
pretty much.
Yeah. So Jace will kind of be there at the rear, essentially. They'll always be behind the last person. So at this point, like most of the group is up ahead and is just being Eggle, struggling through the forest. And Jace will say, "Hey, Eggle, I have a question. Do you mind?"
Whenever someone says, "Do you mind about asking a question?" I feel like it's not a normal question, but yeah, big guy, shoot.
You're right. It's not a normal question. I just and Jace is kind of playing with the sigil from that he was bestowed. And he says, "I'm curious if you were the one wearing this, how you would have handled things differently so far. I just think you're a really great representation of Virbanwa, and I'm just curious what you would have done.
You know just how to rub it in, don't you? You know just how to rub in that Father Corazon didn't choose me to represent us. I could have gone in with my squad, with my guys, and then you three were brought along for some reason. I would have handled things differently. I would have let them know right away what all this is about. We are Virbanwa. We are the light of the Sword Isles. Everything we do is for the sake of a greater nation. That includes assimilating these people. They'll have technology. They'll have typewriting, indoor plumbing, firearms. We're bringing them into the future. And we're just slowing the process with all these back and forth conversations, as if we don't all know what's going to happen in the end, which is that the strongest one in the room subjugates the weakest one in the room. It's going to happen. We're just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, so okay. And then what about the people, the Gatusan people? What about their songs? Like, I've only known Virbanwa, so like I don't know what that subjugation sounds like and looks like. What happens to who they were before?
They'll be the same people, and they can earn the rights of a Virbanweño. They can work hard. They have a chance at climbing the ladder. Don't you understand? We're giving these people a chance.
Thank you for enlightening. I was just curious. It sounds like from your perspective, I guess from and Jace kind of like grits his teeth as he says this. From our perspective, the Gatusanan aren't whole. They aren't complete. Would you agree with that?
Completely.
Yeah, I thought so. Cool. Thank you. I appreciate your thoughts, man.
And hey, I know you're a little more gentle than the other two, but I'm no idiot. I can pick up on judgment. I want you to know I got people I'm fighting for too. Okay?
Yeah, I figured no one picks up a shield without needing to protect somebody, so I get that. I just yeah, it just sometimes gets cloudy from behind a helmet, you know what I mean?
Completely. I completely know what you mean. That's why you gotta know who you are and what you're trying to do. Right, big guy?
And Jace like looks down and like shoots a glance at his arm, the demon bladed one, and he says, yeah, I think I'm starting to figure it out. Yeah, we got to catch up. We're falling behind.
At this moment, Paloma, all the hairs in your body stand on end. There is a sense of absolute terror coming from the west. Your vision looks, and all you see is an opening between the trees leading over to the shoreline. But something starts to make your hackles raise. You need to get your friends out of here in 10 seconds or everyone is going to die.
Like out of where we are right now, like our current pathway.
Out of the line of whatever this sense of danger is. 5,
Paloma
4.
turns around. Run for it! Make a run for it! Turn around!
There is a loud stinging noise as if reality itself is being rended apart, and a white light, like like a blast from an arrow cuts across the forest. Paloma, something in your warrior instinct told you that you all were right in the middle of a perfect shot, almost too perfect a shot through the forest, as if whatever just happened here had happened before. You and your friends dive. You and your friends start to tumble. You start to slide down this hill, narrowly stopping yourself from ramming into trees. I actually think this might not be a bad time for a roll. We haven't used a lot of worker skills. I would like everybody to make a toughness roll, and if you get below a 5, you're taking some damage.
Ooh.
And just to as a reminder, these kind of skills require a D12.
D12 plus
D12.
the number.
Got it. And it was a
Toughness.
toughness. Thank you.
So I rolled a 4 plus a 1 for a 5.
Close. Okay.
Ooh.
I rolled a 7 plus 5 for 12.
Okay.
I rolled a 3, but I have a toughness of 7, so it goes up to 10.
Y'all are
Oh
built
my
way different than me.
Yeah. This is nothing for Paloma and Jace. Obviously, leaping out of the way of a big attack is very scary, but Paloma, you are able to right yourself. Your tumble very quickly turns into a slide. Jace, even if you don't have full footing, you're able to kind of plant yourself, and until the momentum stops, you're able to stop yourself from falling over. Pablo, it's a little bit closer for you.
Yeah. More luck than skill here, yeah.
Just to add a little color, I think Jace would just punch really hard into the ground and it would make an impact just deep enough that Pablo, maybe you can have like something to get your foot into and avoid
just
falling.
like wah, and just grabbing onto anything.
Yeah.
And Pablo, as you are indeed once again helped by your friends, you all start to right yourselves at the bottom of this hill. You've fallen a significant distance. Like, height-wise, that was almost 40 feet down a near vertical drop. And you find yourselves at the bottom of this almost cliffside now at beach level. Jace, it's your turn for your hairs to stand on end. Because as you look up through the bottom of your vision, the bottom of your helmet, you see ahead of you a river slicing across the landscape. A small one, maybe 20 feet across. Can't possibly be that deep. But on the opposite side of it is a figure, crouched, hooded, looks up to you. The yellows of their eyes flash. This is unmistakably the person from your dreams.
Jace looks to make sure that everybody's okay, that no one's seriously injured, and he yells, "I'm gonna scout ahead," and he runs towards that figure.
Okay.
And he would yell back to Paloma and Pablo, "I'll be right back. Just get in defensive." And Jace actually runs so fast that he forgets his wooden club behind. He's just kind of like scrambling forward.
In that case, I see no reason not to follow this momentum. So we'll cut back to Pablo and Paloma in a second. But right now, we're going to follow Jace's hurried thoughts as you run towards this figure. At first, seemingly too far away for you to spot, but you knew exactly where you were going. And you now stand across this small river, seeing this hooded figure. And with yellow eyes, the figure looks up at you. Now, as the trees start to part and let the sunlight in, you can see that on their face are green scales, almost like a humanoid reptile. And they are just...
Jace yells out, he says, "Why did you attack us? We've done nothing to you."
The figure looks to you still this guarded hostility in their eyes, and says, I did not attack you. I called you here.
Called? Just send a letter next time. Don't shoot a freaking laser arrow in the forest. Like, my friends could have died. What the hell do you want with me, man?
Their hood comes all the way off. You see that they are humanoid, bald-headed, but in many patches covered in scales, green with their yellow eyes, and you start to see, as their mouth starts to hang open, there are indeed razor-sharp teeth in there as well, their hands being claws. And they say to you, Umalagat, I am not one of the pale that seeks to rend this island. I am an ancestor spirit, the last defense against it, and I am dying.
Jace is like reaching for his club and he realizes he's left it behind. And as he hears ancestor spirit to defend against it, he's there's healers back at the village. I'm sure.
I died long ago, centuries ago, in the battle against Isohapa. How soon you Virbanwa forget that you would not have been able to drive them off without the help of the Mamandalas, without the help of Gatusan and the Kai and all the other people of the Sword Isles. You, despite your power, are a fool. You are the last bastion of defense against this. The last possible recipient of my power. Power enough to protect your friends. Will you take it?
Jace is constantly looking just to see if there's another attack occurring.
The only sound you hear is the rushing river water.
He realizes he doesn't have any weapons on him. And he says, we're under attack. Hell yeah, I'll take whatever, as long as I can protect my friends.
Your arm is wounded. Dip it
It
into the
usually
river.
is, yeah. Sure. And he just like rips the bandages and wrappings that have like the prayers written on them. He rips it off, puts it into the river. Like this.
Jace, an icy pain starts to surge through your body from the fingertips up. And there are flashes. There's pain in your head. Pain different from the one that you so willingly inflict upon yourself with the armor. And you start to see, from where your arm was submerged in the water, it starts to become coated in armored scales. And we cut back to Paloma and Pavlo.
Pavlo has like ringing in his ears, is like still like not really sure what's going on. Kind of like sees Paloma a little bit and kind of says something, probably comes out a little slurred, probably Paloma, but not quite sure. And is just like muling around a little bit, trying to figure out and get some bearing here. All of a sudden, like I think Jace's voice called it something, didn't make it out. He's not here anymore.
Paloma, because you rolled a 14 before, just going to throw this out real quick.
Yeah.
No doubt in your mind. That sickening radiance coming from that attack was the creature you're after. That was one of the pale and something that they did.
Okay. Okay, we're on the right path. Is everybody else okay? And I look around for literally everybody else that was traveling with us.
You, Paloma, see Pavlo next to you. Jace seems to have bolted up ahead faster than his armor wanted to move. You don't see the others.
Oh no. Okay, we can't let it get there. Pablo, we have to go get the others.
Yep. Let's go find him. And just like wobbly, like looks around. Where's Jace? Where did he go?
Jace went up the river. Is said something about scouting. It's a little weird. Jace never scouts, but you know, I feel like he feels like he can handle it. This is definitely the demon that we are looking for. This is the evil that is attacking, that is causing havoc. This is it.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. I kind of like looks around, notices the club kind of in the sands here. I guess he's probably going to need that. And Pablo goes to pick it up and realizes that that's probably not in the cards. And just kind of like looks to Paloma, looks back to the club, looks at Paloma.
Well, I can't lift that.
Oh God. Okay. Okay, you take that side, I'll take this side, and then we'll just put it over our heads and try to get across the water.
Okay. What do you think the others are okay?
Paloma, I'm gonna be honest with you. We could spend our time blindly looking around for them, or we could follow the one lead we actually do know.
Okay.
Take that side.
We have to. Okay, we have to have faith. We have to believe that everyone will be okay.
We have to do something.
Jace, there are images in your head, memories, not yours, but of this spirit for whom their abode you have stumbled on. You witness visions of a great war, of human-like figures with silvery skin, sharp teeth, sucking the blood out of warriors from all across the Mamandalas. These are the pale, and as arrows pierce them, they shrug it off and continue fighting, calling upon blasts of holy light from above, not unlike priests of Makagagahum claim that they can do as well. These images, 100 years of war in brief flashes, start to overwhelm your head before you take a deep breath of air as if you had been held underwater. Yet it is just you at the side of this river. No more Umalagad. No more spirit. Just you and whatever happened to your arm and maybe your body. Ross, what do you think that might be?
Jace kind of sees his arm, and it is like covered in a dark blue set of scales. And he just says to himself, no, it can't be. And he looks around on his other arm, and that's also covered in scales. And he looks, I think he begins crying as he looks into the water. And as if the spirit of the river is helping Jace see, he sees a reflection of himself, and he is crocodilian. He's reptilian in form, and the tears are streaming from his eyes, as if the nightmare that he's been warned has come true, that the curse has taken over. He hears all the private conversations with Father Corazon, talking about how to control this blight and all the things that he has to do to sacrifice to ensure that it doesn't take him over. And at kind of like this moment of depth and sorrow, the river kind of swells for a moment and splashes water on his face. And it's, despite all of this, with his hands in the water, he feels the most complete he's felt in a while. Like, this is where he's always supposed to have been, a home and a mother that he's never met, but feels really, really comfortable in.
And at this moment, Jace, you look up and see your friends approaching, and they see you.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah,
what have you done with Jace? What is this?
yeah. I think he doesn't really know how to react. And he's like, how can I? He lifts up his hand, and you can see that the ring the signet is on his hand. It's a me. um, yeah, whatever was on my arm, whatever that was supposed to be, I think I am that now. I don't bite. And as he smiles, like it's just rows of sharp teeth.
Paloma. Only our Jacinto could be so cringe in this entire time.
Yeah, that I feel like that's okay. Well, we brought you your club.
Yeah, thank you. He tries to grab it, but his claws are in the way. Like it's meant for a different hand. And he tries to lift it up, and he's like, what is this thing? Did you bring me a baby toy? And he just kind of just looks at it as if it's strange to him. It's weird. This is mine. And he like points to the top, and you can see Jace had like carved out his name at the top of the club. He's like, this is definitely mine. I don't know. It just feels like it's not for me anymore. And he like puts it down, and he actually just grabs a really big branch, like pointed branch, on the ground. He's like, well, that feels better. And another bit of bark that's on the ground that is hefty and weighted, and looks like there's a bit of a handhold to it. He's like, well, that feels fine. Thank you. I'll just use this, if that's cool. I don't know what's happening to me. Pablo, am I dying? I feel like I'm dying.
We're all really dying, but let's take stock, I guess. So just breathe, and Pablo kind of looks around, sees like maybe like a rock jutting out of the sand, brushes it off and takes a seat, and just motions for everyone just to like sit down.
Okay, we're under attack. And he just kind of like sits in a way that's looking to whatever the direction in which that attack came from. And he sits, he's kind of ready. He actually tries to sit, but then his tail is in the way. This new tail that appeared. He was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, you gotta angle it.
Yeah, you tail. Yeah. I no tail. Okay.
Yeah. But
and he kind of just like squats in a strange way. Yeah, okay.
It gets easier.
Okay.
Wait, go back. We're under attack? Did I hear that right?
We were under attack. There was that big flash of light. We all dodged out of the way.
Oh, jeez.
Fell down the hill. Can't find anybody else.
Yeah, okay. Everyone's gone.
Okay, so if you can walk and you kind of know what your arm and stuff and what your legs and tails do,
yes,
we should probably find the others.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we should go and find the others.
Yeah. Okay. I have a really good test. Jace, go stand over there. Owen just points like a few feet away.
Jace stands. He's following every word.
Okay. All right. You ready? let's see what happens when I do this. And she draws her sword and runs at Jace, slashing her sword down, not with the intent to like actually do harm, just to test you above the table.
Jace grabs your sword with his teeth. Oh, that's new.
Yeah, but that's also really cool. Okay, you're definitely ready. You're fine. Just watch the tail. Don't turn around too fast. And
Okay.
we have to find the others. Where is everybody else?
Okay.
Jace, there's a ringing in your ears, and you know exactly where the enemy is. Your animal instincts start to surge up inside of you. You know that it's be or be killed. There is something at the shoreline, at the beach, that needs to die right now.
And Jace, his eyes narrow. The pupils of his eyes narrow all of a sudden, like a reptilian eyes do. And he starts to growl and move his snout towards the beach. There's something that needs to die. We need to get a message to others, but I need to go. I'm sorry. Jace like runs towards the coast.
Palma just looks to Pablo.
In a way, it's different, but in another way, it's kind of the exact same.
I guess he just
Yeah.
likes being out front now.
And Pablo's like already kind of doing like that side jog, and then it's like, okay, let's start running after Jace, even though we're not going to catch up.
There's like a clear path, as if the brush and small trees have been like plowed over, not in a way that it breaks, but it just kind of bends to Jace's run. And as you like run past it, they like come back to their natural resting position, but you can see a clear path behind Jace. I'm going to make some quick changes to my character sheet.
I imagine, yeah, some changes are required
Yes.
mechanically.
More than I had expected, so yes.
You know, it's more than I expected too. So
Putting it all in ferocity, baby.
Yeah, I'm going to make some quick
That's okay.
adjustments.
That's okay. Jace, as you are bolting through the jungle, the trees start to slowly clear. The ground starts to go from hard to soft to sand as you kind of burst out of the trees. Paloma and Pablo, were you following?
Yeah.
Okay. Not too far behind him, because you two are both pretty fleet of foot as well. You all burst out onto a beach. Water stretching before you. And a man standing in it. Silver skin, a dark mustache, fanged canines. Looks up to all of you. And he says, "More. More. The God above desires more servants. Come. Come to me, my friends. We can bask in his radiant light. I am Ferdinand, his messenger. I've been fighting the war for so long. Nobody else believes me. Nobody believes that it's still happening. But I see the truth. I see the truth, friends. Come, come. Walk to me." And he starts approaching you.
So how tall is Jacinto now? Are you like a monstrous, like 8 foot tall, like Gundam, crocodile Gundam?
I think he's kind of bigger than he was before, but not at like He's not like a 10-foot tall
Gotcha.
basketball.
It's like
hoop,
it's like a proportionate like monster like ferocity and like animosity.
Yeah, he has his like Filipino calves are like significantly bigger, and he's just like a bigger dude. But I think his who he was before has always been moving towards this. Yeah.
So Pavlo's going to look to Jace, then look to Paloma, and just kind of slowly nod, takes a deep breath, is in control. Makes eye contact with both of you, and steps forward and says, Father Ferdinand, I'm here to listen to your words and be accepted into the kingdom. And Pavlo slowly walks forward to create some distance here. How does this thing react?
The man starts to weep. And he continues walking towards you. This man about your height, as he gets closer, there's something strange about the way he's moving. He's kind of ethereal, kind of not all there, even physically. No, he's much larger. Is he larger than Jace too? As he gets closer, it almost looks like he's pushing 10 feet tall, but something about the way he walked, as the way his feet start to exit the water, that misleads you about him.
Tell me more. Tell me about where you've come from. Tell me about the glories you've beholden.
Shh. You cannot speak his name. The one true God. The one true God will bring salvation to all. Isohapa will bring salvation to all. We will become one united kingdom.
Yes. Yes, let us kneel and let us pray together as family, as one blood, united.
Your
Pray with me.
words cannot make offerings of prayer until you are cleansed. I must take your heart out and replace it with the shard of God.
Oh, nuts.
There is a flash of white light. Multiple figures start to appear in front of you, and my friends, we are going to enter combat. After the blast of light subsides, you all see that the form of this Pale has shifted. He is now riding upon a giant skeletal horse, wielding a halberd. Behind him are two other silvery-skinned individuals as well, one with a halo, wings, and an astral spear, and the other with many arrows in their back, wielding a bow with multiple arms. You don't know if these were transformed humans, transformed demons, but either way, there's three of them before you, and the one in the middle, Ferdinand, is big. He has grown large. He is almost hunched over, almost puppet-like, riding atop this horse. His fangs still bared, his mouth slack, and there is murderous intent in him. My friends, let us divine the powers to see who goes first. Who has their D8 ready?
Let's do this.
Got him.
Let's do this. I'll go last.
Okay. I got a 6, even.
I got a 4.
Okay.
I got a 3.
Ross, I also got a 3. Angel numbers, aw.
Aw.
So the villains here are going to go first, but hey, you get 2 thunderbolts from your successes.
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead and have our big guy Ferdinand go. All right. He is going to move, and then he is going to do an astral saber. Okay.
Yay!
Yay! All right.
Yes.
So Ferdinand is going to charge forward through the rest of the water, reaching your group, and attack everything within Blast 3, which is a 3x3 square adjacent to him, which is all of you.
Yay.
So
Hey.
he is... Oh, no. He did roll the highest possible die here, which means he's about to crit.
Yeah.
I don't think Thunderbolts can allow a reroll of a die. Of an enemy die. I could be
no.
wrong.
But I can spend a Thunderbolt before the attack to add a plus d6 to an ally's defense, and I could spend 2 to do that twice.
Okay, that's not a bad idea, because I'm adding another d8 onto this.
Okay, so
Yeah, not on me,
both of
I'm good.
you get the plus.
No, put it on yourself.
Oh, okay. I can't put it on myself.
Oh.
Put it on
shit.
Jace. Put it on Jace. It's gonna be a lot of damage.
Okay,
Yep.
one on Jace
Okay.
then.
In a shining light, Ferdinand swings his axe down. It ruptures the ground. Before subtracting your res from this damage, it is 19. So 19 minus res damage to all of you.
How much?
19 minus your your
19.
resilience stat.
Excellent. Because you're in my warlord's area, you can take 1 more defense on that.
Okay. So Jace takes 14. So minus, so it's not good. He's at 28 of 42,
Mm-hmm.
which is not great. And Jace gets 2 things right off the bat. So the counter knives triggers,
Okay.
which is an ending that he took. So if he takes a melee attack, does this count as melee because he's in melee range?
It does, yes.
Does that matter?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I think it's totally fine.
Okay, amazing. So I rolled a 6. Does this explode?
Oh, so I don't think counter knives, because it's not an attack. Melee attacks explode.
Shit,
And I don't
Juli.
think that counts. Yeah, it's still good damage. 6 damage
It's
is
good.
not
Yeah,
bad on the counter.
We'll take the 6, and then he'll also use a thunderbolt to spend a thunderbolt. He uses his new discipline philosophy
Mhm.
since he's changed over to a Bawaya Lancer.
Mhm.
Dragon Rage, which is a great. So he
Almost
uses a
time for
thunderbolt.
Dragon Rage.
Yeah, he uses a thunderbolt and he deals D8 damage against them.
Whoa. Okay.
So he's down
Nice.
to 1 thunderbolt, unfortunately, but he does 6. So 12.
Wow,
against.
not too shabby considering it's the enemy turn. Now, Ross,
Yeah.
I want you to, this is the first manifestation of Jace's new powers in combat. I want you to describe them while I rename Ferdinand from Rider Monster to his actual.
Sure. And what does attack look like? It was a blade of light.
Yes, it was a glowing halberd brought down upon all of you, rupturing the earth in an explosion.
Okay, amazing. So Jace, he's not used to using a shield, so he actually has a shield in front of him. And as the moment of impact on the halberd on the ground and makes that explosion, his instinct turns to 11, and he realizes this is the moment when he's most weak, because he's just finished his attack. He's not really thinking about the next moment. There's just a split second, and Jace literally just slashes at him. He drops his weapons for a moment, slashes, and then grabs his shield and spear again. He's becoming this tornado of a crocodile, where his weapons aren't the thing to look at. And even though he takes a significant amount of damage, Jace's eyes have changed color. They're now that golden yellow of the Umalaga that he met earlier, and he's in it.
Very nice.
Paloma's almost echoing this move from Jace. Paloma's sash glows faintly, and this little shockwave comes out from it. As it is my anting, and I get to deal an additional d8 damage back at the attacker.
Okay.
So that's gonna also take another 3 damage.
Nice.
That's 15 HP off of the enemy immediately.
Do these rolls count as violence die? I don't think they do.
Don't. They don't.
Okay, I didn't think so.
No. Yeah. Too bad, right?
I know, right? This is like a dream.
Yeah.
Amazing. The power of these attacks is blasted back at him through your force, both arcane and spiritual and physical strength. Ferdinand roars, and Jace, you hear a voice in your head, the voice of the Umalagad you spoke to, echoing in you. See what happens when knowledge and culture is maintained. You now have the strength of 100 warriors. Use it well. And the voice fades from your mind. All right, Kadungganan, one of you may riff.
I feel like I'm in a really good position to riff here.
Do it.
Do it.
Okay. So Pablo's gonna go first.
Nope.
So first, at the beginning of violence, adjuncts are something that Senapati can summon here. So as violence is welling up and the heat of combat is beginning to rise, Pablo will think back to some of the raids that Virbanwa does, and think back to some of the people who resisted, people who had souls and wants and dreams, and the people that he cut down. And he imagines one of the burials very unceremoniously, but he remembers specifically one person who he connected very closely with. And he remembers seeing the red and the turn brown and black of their cloth burial wraps out of their stomach and their torso, and imagines sickeningly, almost feels like he could throw up, imagines that face of someone passed away wrapped up, and he remembers whatever was there, that future is gone, and he takes all that pain and all that guilt, and he almost vomits it out and summons up a manifestation of all that pain and creates a ghost adjunct.
Very nice.
With that, he finds himself snapped back to combat, back to the clang of wood and stone and metal. And he takes a deep breath, looks to Paloma, looks to Jace, and says, crash down on him like lightning and burn the ground. So I'm going to use Lightning Lord style. Ooh. I'm going to select 2 allies.
Such a dope name.
Yeah.
Right? You may move 4 tiles tumbling. If you both move through the same opponent, you deal D6 to them, and they're juggled.
Wow.
So if you can somehow find yourselves ways to juggle or move through this enemy at the same time, they're juggled.
Do I have to go through one end and out the other? Or can I go like...
Specifically, it says if they move through the same enemy at the same time.
Okay, yeah.
Through just sounds like moving through their square.
So like I was thinking of having
have to be
Jace curl around, so like one over, up, and then back. Would that count as through? Or would it be like, would I have to go diagonally through him?
That's a
good either way.
That's a great question. It does kind of sound to me like other side, but what do you think, Steve?
I feel like it has to be the other side because you're kind of tossing them up like a fighting game.
Right? Love it. Yeah, I'm across then. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Paloma, are you doing something similar?
Yeah, I'm gonna move diagonal down one and then up through him to end up on the other diagonal.
2, 3. Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
Kind of like...
Yeah, so it's basically flanked.
So it's D6.
Incredible.
So I rolled a 2.
Nice.
All right. I'm then going to move forward 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to use my other technique as a Senapati and use a resounding Warlord beat. So I'm going to attack this enemy, and we're going to see what happens there.
Okay. I will say, just before you do this real quick,
Mhm.
as you command Paloma and Jace, as they have done before, to dash through this enemy, what normally happens is the foe gets launched into the air. That said, Ferdinand just tanks it, glowing with light. Mechanically speaking, in Gubat Banwa, he has lost one of his poise tokens. He cannot be affected with status until he is out of them, as he is
Okay.
a boss.
Love
Oh,
it.
Okay, great.
I love this because this brings me
Right.
back to like, hey, we just gotta burn through that shield.
Mhm.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use a resounding warlord beats. So as they progress and as the sound of battle naturally ends with their roll, with that chopping blade given by the village here, Pablo's gonna attack. I rolled a 6 to hit
Mhm.
for
That
a
is
total
definitely going to hit.
for ferocity. That's 10 damage minus their parry.
Wow. Very nice. Okay.
Then I choose an ally in burst 3, and they get merit and relentlessness on their next attack.
Incredible.
So I'm going to choose Jace for this one.
Okay.
And then, because my anting is a spiraling blade, as the chopping blade does make contact, that blade comes out and just quickly nicks. I'm going to apply bleeding to them.
Ooh, nice.
Another poise.
Yep, that is a
Okay.
second poise down.
Nice.
As you slash into him, Pablo, silvery smoke starts to escape his body. And he says, "Join me. Join me. Join me."
Excellent. And then Pablo's going to use that last action here to blow the Bod Young. I'm going to choose an ally and ask them to inflict violence. And with a resounding no, Pablo will then look to Jace. Go ahead, make violence.
Crazy turn.
Okay. Sorry, remind me what relentless is.
Relentless means you can roll another die. Melee attacks automatically score relentless on a crit.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's
you're-
really more for the
so-
merit, to be quite honest.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Jace, he gets into a mode, and he actually, rather than attacking the big boss baddie, he actually attacks the halberd.
Okay. Okay.
He has an attack called Dragon Seizes the Sky, and that's kind of the closest thing to the sky in this moment. And we'll see if it hits. So it's a D8 here. Okay, so I rolled an 8.
Oh my god.
What?
Does that?
That
okay,
does
talk to me.
essentially explode. And it will
Okay.
continue to explode until you don't roll an 8, and that damage is going to keep getting added.
And then I also have Relentless.
Which means an additional reroll after you fail to roll an 8.
Got it. Okay, so roll again. I need to take a picture.
Oh my
It's another
gosh.
8.
Yes.
This is this. I mean, listen. Story-wise,
I'm gonna-
perfect
That's
timing
it.
to go sicko mode.
Yes.
I'm just gonna so that it's not just me. there's the other 8 there.
Amazing.
Okay, cool. So that's 2. Okay, 3, but then I get to re-roll it because of relentless.
Yeah. So 8 plus 8 plus 3.
3. So
8 plus 8 plus 6 is guys, that 22 damage before even adding your ferocity.
8 plus 8, 16 plus 6. Yes, 22. And my ferocity is 6. so
So that's
Yeah.
28 damage. His parry is subtracted from it.
his parry is subtracted, yes.
This is one attack. It's not multiple attacks, so his parry
This
is only
is-
subtracted once.
one attack, yes.
Oh my god. Ross, you have I'm glad I made this a boss enemy and doubled his HP. Otherwise, the fight would almost be over. This is incredible. What did you tell me everything about what Jace just did?
Just to complete the thing, he will inflict slowed, which makes sense here.
Mhm.
But I think what he would have done was Jace would have kind of crouched down, and it's something that he used to do with his shadows, with the smoke. But in this case, it's the water and the sand around him. It actually propels him up as he does what crocodiles do when they try and like bite stuff in the air.
Yeah.
He just grabs the halberd, and I don't know if he can snap it in half, but he'll eventually kind of turn it around and stick it into the mounts underneath our Father Ferdinand here, kind of slowing it down. And in like the whole while, he's also like slashing and scraping. His tail would have grabbed the spear, and he's like just puncturing as much as he can. And he's in a place where Jace used to be about control and about like this cost means this amount of power. This sacrifice is worth this much, but he is in a kind of this wild, abandoned kind of state. And as he like returns back into the ground, the sand and the water cushion his landing momentarily, and Jace roars into the sky and looks to the other two demons behind him, essentially, and he says, "You're next."
Let's
Yes.
go. Amazing.
That's it.
As this happens, Ferdinand's head starts to twitch to the side with a large cracking noise, and it starts to rotate almost downwards until he's making eye contact with Pavlo, having twisted his head from his large position atop the mount, and says, "Don't you want to rejoice in the glory of God?" And the Astral Lancer is going to go now. Okay, that's a big attack. Okay, so the Astral Lancer is going to take a movement. Its movement is 5. 1, 2. Oh, we are lucky that the Astral Lancer started in water, because the Astral Lancer's trait is that it can move through enemies and just deal damage. The water tile did slow it down, but that said, it is about to attack Paloma with.
So at the start of of that rift, I'm actually just gonna pull that lancer towards me. So
Okay.
Jace now has an ability called Makara's Presence. At the start of the rift, within burst 4 of you, I can spend a Thunderbolt, which is my last one, to pull them 3 tiles.
Okay.
So essentially, I want to get him to a point that, I guess, diagonal, so as much into the water as possible.
Okay.
And then 1, 2, 3, I suppose.
Yep.
And then I think that's all I can do there.
Okay. So this was before they moved.
This is before they moved, yes.
Okay.
And then that way, I also gain back a Thunderbolt because now you're in the
All
Dragon's
right.
Lair.
Noted. You activate your Dragon's Lair ability. The Astral Lancer being pulled out of the water. You see them for the first time, Jace. This is an individual with silver skin, a halo above their head, wings on their back, and there's a cold look in their eyes. They are not a ranting zealot like Ferdinand. It seems like they are a stone cold killer, and they're gonna take their movement action to move through you.
Okay.
They're gonna take a beat to run to your other side. If they are going to deal D10 of damage to you, no defense is subtracted from it. You take 9 damage.
To me.
To you, Jace, yes.
Okay, got it. 9, no problem.
And all right, this is
And
about to be.
They also
crazy.
suffer a demerit if they attack. If on all attacks, I don't include me as a target.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I'm assuming the move is not an attack.
The move is not an attack, but you know what? In that case, I think they are going to attack you. You've successfully gotten their attention.
Got it. Cool.
All right.
Good.
This is a weird roll, but Astral Burning Flurry requires me to roll a D3, which I
Okay.
think just means I'm going to roll a D6 and half it.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So, okay. It hits.
Okay.
Jace, you are going to take man. 10 damage minus your resilience.
Oh, great. So I take 6.
Cool. Now it happens
Okay.
2 more times.
Okay.
I'll
great.
spend another Thunderbolt before it makes a melee attack to give Jace a +6 to the defense.
Oh, wow.
At
Okay,
least
not
one-
bad.
Oh, yeah, and
for
I have
one,
Protect
for one
on.
attack.
So I have that +6. Plus I have that protect from Pablo's.
No,
Nice.
my Warlord Aura is 1.
Oh, it's 1. Okay, so I just
So you're not in it.
got no problem. Okay, no problem.
Amazing. 11 minus your resilience for damage.
Okay.
And the last one. Okay, high rolls, folks.
Okay.
Another 11 minus your resilience.
Okay.
The Astral Lancer's spear starts to glow with fire, first as they dash through and then whirl around and in huge swoops start to whirl it around their head, ripping through your new scaly skin. And the Astral Lancer starts to mutter to themselves, "How can I be forsaken? How can I be forsaken?" A Kadungganan may riff now.
Okay. So a couple of things. So Jace is down to 0. So that's 1.
Oh my god!
And
Okay,
then
okay.
and then were those 3 attacks?
They were.
Great. So this guy is going to take 1 Dragon Rage,
Okay.
which will be a 2, which is okay.
Okay.
And then 3 counter knives.
Okay. Roll those big dice.
Okay. So I have a 6. So
Mhm.
that's 9. Oh, sorry, 8. Excuse me.
Yep.
2, that's 10.
Mm-hmm.
And 5, so 15.
Okay, not bad. Jace, your counter knives, however you want to flavor them, if you just want them to be claws right now, that's totally
He's just
fine
like,
too.
as every attack that this Lancer does, Jace gives 1 back. So
Okay.
it's just like back and forth, but Jace goes down at the end. Yeah.
Amazing. So Jace, you fall to 1 knee, and this rage continues to bubble inside of you. You are not yet defeated. You are
Mhm.
now, however, in a state where you are about to be wounded.
Right.
All damage you take will give you a wound.
Okay.
If you get 5 wounds, it's game over. So you can take 5 more hits, whatever they may be.
Got it. Can I still like act in this state? Or
Yes,
am
you
I
may.
just like, oh, great.
Yes, you may. One nice thing about this game is that it's constructed so that you don't just like sit
Cool.
when your character is knocked out. All right. A Kadungganan may riff now.
I would like to try and
Yep,
get back
yep.
onto
Yeah.
my feet
You're,
here.
you're already on a roll here.
And I will say both the Astral Lancer and Ferdinand are looking bloodied.
Nice.
That said, Ferdinand has about twice as much HP as the Astral Lancer, so, ups and downs.
Yeah.
So
Right.
obviously your healing options are limited. Paloma and myself have a little bit here.
Yeah.
Mine requires you to end your riff in my aura. Then I'll heal you for my ferocity.
And there is
And-
rally. There is always rally.
And you
There
could
is
rally as
rally.
well, yeah.
And your aura is how big? Oh, it's
It's only 1.
Just the one.
Yeah, we gotta be really good friends.
I can't leave Paloma alone. And there's this other thing. Okay, that's fine. So I'm gonna rally. So that's
A quarter
Odds.
of your health back.
so
Yeah.
I get 10 back, which is great.
Nice.
Back up and running. I do get a thunderbolt because there's at least one enemy beside me,
Mhm.
which is great. I'm gonna use that thunderbolt to rally again.
Mhm. Oh, I believe you can only.
Oh, I
rally
can only
once
do it once per
combat.
violence.
I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Okay, no worries. No worries. That's fine. I will deflect. So now all attacks on me until the start of my next rift will inflict a demerit, which is great.
Mhm.
And I will you might, Jace is on a roll, I think. 1, 2, 3. That's 3 away. I can pull him 2 tiles. 1, 2. I can't. It's not close enough. 2 tiles away. Too far. And that thing can move. Don't want that. Oh, I got it. Great. I'm going to use the Dragon Seas of the Sky again on Ferdinand there.
Who is flanked, I believe, with Pablo on the other side of him.
Great. Jace rolled an 8. So
whoa!
I love this.
I'm just gonna send again.
Yes.
So I'll roll that again, which is a 2, so 10 all in all.
Wow. All right.
And since they're already versus his parry, since they're already slowed, Ferdinand is now also taunted until the next rift.
Nice.
Rift.
So all of his attacks must include you or start suffering penalties.
Exactly.
Basically.
Yeah. I think I should have done it on the other guy, but I need to get big dude's attention.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that's all I can do, I believe.
Yep. Not a bad idea. All around. Now, Ferdinand, as a boss enemy, gets to move twice per rift. So he is going to move for a second time.
So it costs 1 additional speed to move out of my adjacency.
Noted. And does he? Do I remember him having demerit at one point or no?
I don't think so.
No.
Unfortunate. All right. It wants him. I rolled for the gambit. He's going to do his Gleam Saber again. But maybe it won't crit this time. And it does not. I was maybe thinking it would hit the Astral Lancer. It doesn't. It's just going to hit Paloma and Jace. Y'all. Oh my god. That's a 1.
Great. Jace has now 0 evade, so that's helpful.
Amazing. Paloma and Jace, how do you do your super cool team block to stop the halberd from once again perish coming down upon both of you?
Oh, I got it. Jace throws his shield to Paloma. So you have like a moment to kind of jump up and curl behind it.
Yeah.
Essentially. And then Jace throws up sand to kind of act as a block. And it would be nice if Paloma set that shield back to Jace.
Oh yeah, I feel like Paloma with her tail, just as she like was jumped up and curled, her tail like kind of wrapped like where the little like handle is on it.
Yeah.
And then as she springs back open, getting ready to make her attack, she like just kind of like flips the shield back at you.
Nice. And Jace kind of spins, grabs it, and he's now in a ready position as the sand falls after getting like hit by the blast. Yeah.
Sick. I have good news and bad news. So Pale Kings, as their ability, kind of like the Demon's Fester, they get a plus a d6 to all their attacks and defenses during combat until they hit half HP. Ferdinand is at half HP now, so good news. Things are going to start getting a lot less intense. That said, he does get another benefit afterwards. He now has a +1 to jump speed and evade. So don't roll any 2s, my friends.
Oh my gosh.
Got it.
All right.
Okay.
I believe Paloma, it is your turn to riff.
It is my turn to riff. Oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this. Okay.
Yes.
Woo!
Finish this
All
guy.
right. Let me stretch it out here. Okay, so. Okay, well that Lancer moved. No, it's fine. We got this. All right, so first thing, Paloma, her sword goes up in flames as she's using her inflict violence, Callus Laho. And on the Astral Lancer, actually, and is going to this eclipse causing dragon head kind of comes out of the edge of her sword as she slashes down
Nice.
onto that Lancer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be plus my ferocity, which is now 5. So that's gonna be an 8 versus its parry.
Yep, that's gonna break on through.
And this Lancer is going to suffer an additional plus D2 extra damage on the next attack from an ally until the end of my next riff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, casual.
Casual, yeah.
When I make this melee attack, I'm going to spend a Thunderbolt to heal myself or an ally within burst 3. I'm going to go ahead and spend that on Jace.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
So it's a let's see. Okay, well that was unfortunate, but it's okay because my spirit is now a 6. So that's you heal for 7.
Okay.
And then so that's beat number 1. Beat number 2, we're gonna go into the Mentala of Hito, which is a new signature move that I have.
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
And we're gonna target the Ferdinand is the target of this. So that's gonna be D8. It was a 2 is his evade, right?
That's correct.
Okay. I rolled a 3, so
Okay, nice.
so that's gonna be that. So that's gonna be 9 versus his resilience.
Okay, that is indeed lower than parry, which is nice.
Okay, and because I made another melee attack, I'm gonna spend another Thunderbolt.
Yes.
Down to 1 to heal myself.
Nice, very smart, very
Four.
wise. We love to see it.
For another 7.
Okay.
I can do math. We're good. Perfect. And then the great thing about this signature technique is its effect is that all allies within burst 3 of the target, including myself, gain protect.
Mm,
So now we
yeah.
all have protect.
nice. And
Plus
let me
D6.
oh, plus D6 to your defenses, is that it?
Is it D6 or D4?
Let me check.
You do plus D4 to all defenses.
D4. Got it.
Nice.
Yes, and it'll cleanse. It cleanses at the end of your next riff.
All right, so you got to turn to safety, basically, extra safety.
Yeah. And then another part of my Mentalo Hito is the flurry ability. As I get to spend another beat to throw myself 3 tiles away, flipping and making another attack ignoring combo breaker.
Whoa!
So,
What?
so 3 tiles away from him. Because I don't want to go back into the
Are you going to go into the water?
the sea. No, I don't want to go into the sea.
That'd be really sad if you just like left.
Yeah, so the water above you all is shallow water, which costs an extra movement to go through. You become vulnerable to electricity, and it cleanses the flame. It's deep water south of you, this area with the ripples.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah,
Can I go...
which means you can't act in that.
Got it. So can I go up diagonal 3?
Yeah, left or right?
To the right.
Thought so, just checking.
Yeah.
Oh,
gosh. Oh no. Too much.
You're at the corner of the map, but you are here.
1, 2, 3. Oh shoot. Okay, yeah, no. That still works. That's still fine.
It's safe.
Backtracking a little, that protect that is on everybody. This little catfish made out of water just appears next to you and starts swimming around you in the air. That is how that protect presents itself. And yeah, so now against Ferdinand, I get to make this ranged attack.
Okay,
Heck
nice.
yeah.
As catfish come flurrying out of my blade at him. What is that? That's a 3. Okay, so
It
that
hits.
is 9 versus his resilience again.
Wow. All right, so that's 6 damage because his res is 3. Very nice.
Yeah. And then I'm back in sorcery state. Okay, I have to keep track of that myself.
And
Okay.
he's looking to hurt for sure. Still kicking.
Paloma, at the end of all of this, just looks at Ferdinand. Her fangs flashing. Her smile has never been wider as she looks at him. I have promised the Makagagahum, the one true god, your blood, and I will deliver it. As she rests, she is done with her riff.
Yeah.
At that sentence,
Hell yeah.
he starts screaming, "Liar! Liar! Heretic! Heretic!" And we're gonna have the Celestial Hunter take their turn. They're really stuck in the water here, so they can only go one square, which I don't believe. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. They can target Paloma. All right. The Celestial Hunter banks an astral arrow.
I'm gonna spend that Thunderbolt to pull them 3 tiles.
Closer to you.
Closer to me, yeah. If I can get them 1, 2, and then down south of me,
Yeah, that's
that
fine. Little diagonal
make-
pull. That's okay.
does that
Get
Paloma
I
out of
think
range?
2, 3,
I think it's the
4,
same
5,
range.
6. It also, yeah, this actually, hold on. Well, it's this Paloma's technically within range, but you're now obstructing the line of sight.
Yes.
And range attacks can't go through things. Oh, that's interesting, because it's now attacking
Great.
with demerit because it's in your melee range. You might have saved your ass, Jace.
Correct.
All right. Maybe, just maybe, this sidereal rifle will not end up doing that much. Let's see. All right, so they are going to bank an astral arrow in their bow, glowing with silver white light that starts to look familiar to all of you as it prepares to cut across the landscape. And the Celestial Hunter is going to speak aloud. "My spine is my bow. I am a weapon of God." And they're going to do their attack with a little extra d8 from that astral arrow. Let's see if it hits, though. I'm rolling with demerit. What is your evade, Ross, in your Buaya Lancer form?
Unless you rolled a 1.
I rolled.
my evade is 0.
I rolled a 2. It is still less damage, though.
Yeah.
Cool. Which is good. So another d8 added from that astral arrow plus the spirit. So that is going to be 9 minus your resilience.
And your protect. You have a
And your
D4.
protect.
9
yes.
minus resilience, which is 4. I rolled a 2 for the protect, so that's 6. So I'll only take 3, which is
Wow,
great.
nice.
And then does counter knives trigger here? It's not a melee attack; it's a ranged
It
attack.
is a ranged
with it.
attack
Yeah.
being forced to be made at melee.
Okay,
So yeah,
okay.
I don't think it's a
Just
melee
just
attack.
checking. Okay.
I think that's a reasonable
Alright.
question. I would have
Yeah.
asked that too if I was in your position. Jace, you see this attack coming, and Paloma, I'm sure, can put together, oh, this is what cut across the battlefield or across the jungle before. Jace, your animal instincts and Paloma's magic is just kind of the thing that lets you get out of dodge before it fully eviscerates you. All right. We're at the top of the order. You have 3 more turns to win. Ferdinand is going to go now. Let's see what he wants to do. Okay, finally a new role for him to do something different. Star Cavalier. What is that ability? Let's take a look.
I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's like nothing,
Yeah.
right? It's nothing.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ferdinand is going to rush. He is slowed, right? So is that
Slowed.
-1 to his speed?
I believe his speed is 2, and now he's within Dragon's Lair, so he also has he needs 1 more speed to get out of it.
That really fucks with what he was gonna do. Star
Yes.
Cavalier is a move where he runs through as many enemies as possible, inflicting a buttload of status conditions on all of you. He can only go through Jace.
Great.
So he's going to charge through the other side of Jace. Jace, you feel this ethereal horse run through you. Shudder goes up your very existence from your head to your toes. And you are now, number one, taunted to Ferdinand.
Great.
Number two, you are dazed.
Great.
Which, let me just double check to
It's
see.
a demerit, right?
All attacks you make suffer demerit. All attacks against you have merit.
Which cancels out because I'm in like a defensive position.
Seems like it.
Okay.
And now he's going to Gleam Saber again. Yay!
Oh,
And drop his
jeez.
axe on you.
So he's gonna take 2 from counter knives. Even as he like runs through me, Jace is
Okay.
like snapping at the spectral
Yep.
horse.
Two damage done.
That's
It's adding up, y'all. It's adding
Yeah,
up.
that's all I can do.
He is going to bring his weapon down again. That is a 5 on the die plus.
Still
is
suffering
from-
demerit. Because
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a 2 on the die, so it's still less damage.
yeah.
That is going to be
Okay.
8 minus your resilience, minus protect damage.
Yeah. So resilience is 4, protect is 2. Paloma
So 2
saving
damage.
Jace's ass. Yeah. So 2 damage. So great.
Oh my
Jesus
god, Jace, you're
Christ.
up. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
What are you at out of curiosity, Ross?
12.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
Yes.
Damn.
All right,
Y'all are
let's do this.
this medium sentinel combination is pretty strong. A Kadungganan may riff now.
I don't have
I
a
think
lot of
that-
options here. I think Jace, you might have the best options.
I'm taunted.
Well, you're
So, like,
taunted.
I could use some healing. So
Yeah.
that's 1.
Okay, I have to get next to
Um,
you. I have to get close to you.
Okay.
Paloma,
Okay,
it will
we don't want
it
that.
will cost you 1 extra movement to get through these water tiles.
Oh
Just so
yeah,
you know.
that's totally fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're like,
I
I'll
could
stay over here.
I think
I could
Silvia.
just-
I think you go.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think.
I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah, I think so.
Because like you're taunted, unless you could just remove Ferdinand, like delete Ferdinand, which maybe you could, but
It might have to be a big combo move to delete him in one
Yeah.
character's turn.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take 2.
and then Paloma being able to heal you just for a little bit more might just buy us the time we need.
Yeah, that would be awesome if possible.
Cool. Yeah, I can do this. Okay. Currently, how many tiles away is Ferdinand from me?
Ferdinand is 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles away. Diagonally,
Oh,
which is
that's
still 4
such good
tiles.
news. That is the best news.
Whoa.
So
Insanity.
funny story. He's 4 tiles away from me. Paloma getting the nod from Pablo to now get in there is activating on her sword. You see this like depiction of these tigers and these wild jungle cats all running up her sword as she activates her Mentala of the Alamid.
Mm-hmm.
And she's targeting Ferdinand with this. And these cats made of pure fire come shooting out of her sword as she makes her ranged attack. So that's gonna
Badass
be
description.
3. So that's gonna be 9 versus his resilience.
Okay.
Yeah, she also gets a thunderbolt because he's more than 3 tiles away from her. The effect of this is these cats collide with Ferdinand and then bounce off, and one will stick on Jace's shoulder, and the others can't quite reach Pablo, unfortunately, as all allies in burst 3 of the target, including myself, gain strengthened and relentless until the end of their next riff.
Okay.
And the second part of this Mentala is the flurry. So I get to spend another beat to teleport
Right.
adjacent to the target.
What?
And make the following attack a Morning Combo
Yes.
Breaker. So,
Where's adjacent gonna be for you? Can be really anywhere. Adjacent means anywhere around here.
I know. It's so hard to. Oh gosh.
I mean, you could flank with Jace, but then you'll be in the water.
Yeah. But if I'm in the water, am I still within 3 of Jace?
You are.
Then I will go to the water.
Okay, we're prioritizing offense.
Yes, we are. And then do I get to make this attack with merit because now we're flanking?
Yes, you do.
Heck yeah! As Paloma appears literally out of nowhere, slashing her sword down with this sound of this roar of this tiger. She's now gonna do. Oh no! Oh no! I have merit.
Yeah.
Yes, merit.
Yes. Okay. So that's gonna be versus his plus ferocity. So that's gonna be 8 versus his parry.
Hell yeah.
8 versus parry, noted. Okay.
Okay. And then now that she's back in a sword state, she's gonna spend a thunderbolt because she made a melee attack to heal an ally within burst 3, Jace.
Thank
Jace,
you.
you're gonna get
Nice.
healed by 7 again.
Great.
And that was beat 1 and beat 2. She still has 1 final beat.
What the hell?
And she just says, win! As she is now going to do her another Callus Laho.
Mhm.
Again, as this like fiery power, this eclipse causing dragon head appears out of the edge of her sword as she swings it downward onto Ferdinand.
Okay.
And oh no, I have merit. I keep forgetting. Okay, so that's gonna be because I rolled a 1 and that was real
Okay,
bad.
yeah, that would have been real bad.
But now I rolled a 4, so that's gonna be a 9 versus his parry.
Wow. Okay, I mean, listen, his
Great.
parry's high. 9 is still a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And he now suffers an additional D2 extra damage on the next attack from an ally.
Okay, yeah, wait.
before
Oh,
the
that
end of
happened
the
before. I forgot to add that, I think, when Jace hit him.
Next time Jace hits him, I'm assuming it's gonna be Jace. Extra damage, and then because I made another melee attack, I'm gonna go ahead and spend another thunderbolt here. Because why else do we have them? And I'm gonna go ahead and heal Jace again because why not?
Well, I think there's a reason. It's because the Astral Lancer is about to go.
Yeah.
And that is gonna be you heal for 10 this time.
Oh, hell. Yes.
Yes.
All right.
And that is with that, Paloma again grinning so widely with her fangs bared and just like heavily breathing with the adrenaline of this battle.
The water laps at your heels, Paloma, as it has taken you up to the calf. And though the capital of Virbanwa is quite landlocked, there's a familiar feeling as you are standing here in the salt water. All right. Astral Lance is going to run through Jace and deal a d10 of damage. Whee!
Great.
Hooray!
Jace, that is 1 point of damage.
Great. I'll take
And-
it.
Yay, hooray!
Hooray. Hooray, hooray.
And they are going to do their Starlight Lance. The Astral Lancer then twirls around and attempts to spear you. That
Okay.
is a... Alright, I mean, unless your evade is still 1, so it is going to hit.
0, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Oh no. Alright, so that will
Oh,
be...
but he will suffer demerit because Jace is still deflecting.
Noted.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So it's gonna
Helps.
be 10 damage versus your parry.
Great. I'll take it. That sounds better. 6 So my parry's 4, so I'll take 6 damage here.
And now the Astral Lancer is going to move through you again.
Great. He also takes 3
Oh.
from my counter knives.
Nice, nice. All right, noted. Astral Lancer's looking pretty hurt, so is Ferdinand. Jace, you're going to take another just flat 3 damage. As the Astral Lancer
Yeah.
ran through you, threw a glowing spear to the other side, ran through you to catch it slicing at you again.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't leave your adjacency without you pulling some shenanigans, so they're not going to.
Correct.
A Kadungganan may riff now.
So Jace, do you have anything up your sleeve here, or are you still waiting for like an opportunity?
I'm just attacking. My whole thing is to try and keep them in a pit, essentially.
And
So
that's really what happened.
this
They're
is
all
literally
around you.
the best situation.
This is the death
for
pit.
Jace.
Okay.
But damage-wise, he doesn't do more than 8, really. Like, I can do Dragon Seizes the Sky on Ferdinand, and I can move him, but I don't know how helpful that's going to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't I go, and then
Sounds good.
you will have like a pretty straightforward, hopefully, riff.
Totally.
Okay. Question: adjuncts have speed. Now, obviously, to attack, it costs me my beat to make them attack. But when do they move? Like, I think on my turn.
On your turn.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to move kind of in between Paloma and Jace on the north side of Ferdinand.
Yep.
So I have 4 movement.
Yep.
Or sorry, I can't do that because I want to. Am I adjacent to Ferdinand if I do that?
You are.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna drag my spirit 4 with me,
Okay.
and this wrapped body will kind of drag lifeless feet just through the sand and water and just kind of follow me with that blackened gut wound there.
Mhm.
I am then going to Jace, do I want to move you? Like we could combo again here, but you move. But the thing is, if you move, you can move closer to me.
It is. If y'all pull a combo like you did turn 1, the battle might be over. But if you don't, and Ferdinand's about to act again, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think we
decision
need to
time.
deal with Ferdinand. And the Astral Lancer's already attacked, so, like, yeah. The Hunter is the problem, but we need to deal with Ferdinand.
Yes, and I think we've invested enough that I think we can finally cash out.
Let's do it.
So I'm gonna use Lightning Lord style again, and Pavlo is going to call out and say, "Find the strength within, cut the head from this vile serpent." So I'm gonna ask that Paloma and Jace tumble 4, and I hope that you can tumble through Ferdinand. If you end next
You
to
can.
me, you will be able to heal at the end of your riff if you end your riff with me.
1 adjacent. So I'd like to go through Ferdinand and beside Pablo.
yep, I
ideally.
had a feeling.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
You want to keep
or-
flanking, right, Paloma? So
Yeah, that's Paloma's thinking about that tactical.
So,
if I
can-
just go with
Can you
go
read
ahead.
my mind for a second here? I'm gonna summon another ghost, and they can flank.
They do flanking. Okay, cool. Can I roll behind Pablo?
yeah, you have
Like-
the movement for it.
But can I also? Because
Yeah.
going through Ferdinand counts as 1 or 2. Is that like 1 or
It's tumbling.
or? Well, because I could tumble 4.
Oh, good question.
Is that a water tile? No, it's the shore. You're okay.
So
You can make it to the other side of Pablo.
one.
definitely.
But can I also roll through the Astral Lancer while I'm at it? Or?
It
Two.
wouldn't do anything.
It wouldn't do anything. Yeah,
Oh,
it's just
oh,
Ferdinand.
I thought it was through anybody. Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, just roll me through Ferdinand onto the other side of Pablo.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
All right.
So that's 2 damage from being hit.
Yep. And he's down to 1 poise token.
Okay, which I think it's eaten up by being juggled here.
Or now he's down to 1 after he resists the juggle.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to use a beat, and I'm going to summon another ghost here.
Okay.
This one, again, is wrapped in linen with a crooked neck, and
Amazing.
it's in 2, so I think I'm looking for that kind of flank on the west side of Ferdinand.
Beautiful. All right, give me just a sec. Boop. There we go.
Perfect. Paloma, do you want it one more down?
I'm okay with it there.
Okay,
unless
let's
you
leave it
want
there.
Yeah. If you're good with
Mhm.
it.
All right, so that's my beat. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to blow the Badyang.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to attack one adjacent enemy.
And
Ooh,
I'm gonna
2.
spend a thunderbolt to add an additional d6 of damage to that attack.
Okay. Does a 2 hit?
2 does hit.
Okay, 2
Wait,
plus...
actually, hold on.
Meets it, beats it.
No. I
Oh.
don't, because he's at less than half HP.
Then we got to spend that thunderbolt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally. Reroll it.
Yep.
Good
Roll
call.
that again. 5. Much
That-
better.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yes.
So, and then a d6 damage.
Okay.
Yep, an additional d6.
So that is 12 after adding all my ferocity in the d6.
Okay, and this is versus his parry.
That is correct.
Okay.
And wait, was it Ferdinand that you were attacking?
That's right.
Okay, because then Ferdinand also has the additional
D2.
2d2
Mhm,
damage.
mhm, mhm.
D2. So I rolled even, so another 2 damage.
And that's it.
Oh, I still have
Oh,
more to
jeez.
go. Oh, Ferdinand got off easy.
Pablo, this is the ultimate culmination of all your techniques. Despite the difficult terrain, despite Jace's sudden new abilities, he managed to keep all the enemies in a whirlpool around him as you commanded your allies and summoned these spirits. Paint me a picture, Pablo. What happens?
So as the kind of chaos kind of ebbs and flows, the tide itself is also ebbing and flowing. And as Jace and Paloma kind of tumble through, the waves crash. And as they kind of rescend back into the ocean, Pavlo takes that chopping blade and strikes down into Ferdinand, grabs the spiraling blade, digs that into Ferdinand, and then looks at the ghosts, and they kind of like cock back their heads, and with no voice left in their ethereal bodies, crash into Ferdinand, driving the blades as deep as possible before tumbling as corpses do onto the bloody sands.
As you deal this final lethal blow to Ferdinand, his body starts to rupture and light starts to pour out of it. He makes direct eye contact with you, Pablo, the one who approached him originally, and says, Isohapa will destroy the Sword Isles because the Sword Isles will destroy each other. And he smiles for the first time as he ruptures and destroys himself in a shower of light. His thralls, the Lancer and Hunter, start to disapparate as well. And you are out of combat. Now, with blood and water at your feet, my friends, though there is little evidence of it, their bodies rapidly disappearing, you have defeated the Pale that Virbanwa sent you here to defeat.
I think Pavlo kind of takes a deep breath and then just turns away from the disintegrating bodies here and looks to Jace and says, "Are you still there? Are you with us still? Changed? The same? Say something."
As you say that, Jace actually like growls and then leaps past you. He does it in a way that like you're very familiar. Jace is a big dude, but he's very agile around his compatriots. And as the bodies are disintegrating, Jace is still attacking. He's attacking the pieces and the fragments until there's no sight of it left. And when there's just blood-stained sand, and the water kind of rushes up against him and hits him in the face again, and that golden glow in his eyes fade, and his reptilian pupils kind of focus back into like full presence. And then he's just kind of on all fours. He doesn't look back at Paloma and Pablo. He quietly breathes kind of shallowly and says, do you still love me?
And that's all it takes.
Yeah.
And Pavlo's right up to Jace and just wraps his relatively puny arms around this changed but still lovable person and just embraces his friend.
Chuckles. Oh, Jace, you're such a big goof. Of course we still love you. And we'll also come over and give him a big hug.
I think Jace cries in like a cathartic way. Maybe deep down inside, his fear wasn't that he was going to change, but that after he changed, that his family wouldn't love him anymore. And he's just kind of weeping, and his big crocodile tail's like wagging behind him,
Yeah.
as the two of you are hugging him. Yeah.
I don't see our characters really saying much more until like things stabilize. Like emotions are like really, really high, the adrenaline of combat and things like that. And I don't challenge me on this, but like I don't see us moving from the embrace until everyone feels like centered again, grounded again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think at one point Jace would kind of sit down. And I guess at that point, the three of you are just kind of looking out into the ocean. What Ferdinand said about the isles destroying one another, it's kind of resonating in Jace's mind. And he says, it's kind of funny. I think no matter what swords we make or what fortresses are built, the thing that will keep us all safe is what we're doing right now. Just giving a shit about each other. No matter the form, no matter the thoughts, no matter our practices.
Sometimes, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's way harder than just beating the shit out of stuff.
For someone who doesn't like talking, sometimes, Jace, you say the perfect things.
As you all hold and embrace each other, you hear shouts from the jungle of an argument. This must be some trick! Where did they all go? They just started to disintegrate! And you hear Egil and Laia yelling at each other. And soon enough, you see them on the shoreline, bloodied, as if they were engaging some enemies as well, perhaps ones that also disapparated when you defeated their commander. Laya turns to the forest and says, Elder! Elder, they're over there! And they very clearly see you with this blood with hints of silver in the water around you. Elder Makusog takes several slow steps forward, emerging from the forest. Their hair, though gray, has the similar wild quality to Bulan. Their tattoos similar to Laya, one who has carried much of the village on their back, stares in utter awe at all of you and says, Is it true then? Is it done?
Pablo,
Miss Paloma just stands up suddenly,
Yep.
hops up, full
And-
enthusiasm. It is done. The evil has been slain.
The first Egil and Laya start rushing over to all of you. And then Elder Makusog does. Jace, you are met with confusion. Egil just points his spear forward. Laya narrows her eyes. The elder says, Is that you, Jacinto?
Yeah, Jace kind of like he's still kind of crouched over. He's really embarrassed about turning around as like Pablo and Paloma meet this group. And as like Jace begins to get up, he kind of gets up in the way that like a sumo wrestler does, like one leg at a time, and this big ferocious beast. And as he like extends his spine and grows to his full height, there's like an innate growl that happens. He's learning his body still. And he turns around, and at that moment, it's as if the island and the sea announce Jace's presence as a wave rushes up and crashes behind Jace. He acts as a boulder, and this big fan of water appears. And Jace is in his full kind of posture as a crocodile knight, as a Bawaya lancer. And then as the wave crashes down and it becomes gentle again, Jace's tail wraps around and he's like holding it like a teddy bear. He's like,
Aw.
yeah, it's me. It's me. Hello.
Ambuhotan has changed you, perhaps in ways that you did not expect.
I think I've always known there was something more. Bedtime stories that my mom would tell of the Umalagad and the guardians of her home. And then the thing on my arm I thought was a curse, and it was just my denial manifesting. I don't know. But all I know is we seem to be okay. And I feel really at home here as the water kind of rushes up to everybody's feet and feels warm and quiet as it pulls at the blood and silver into its mysterious depths.
Egil, his eyes narrow, his brow furrows at all of this. You can see his teeth kind of start to clench. Elder Makusog, however, looks to you, Jason, says, This land can be your home. A home is quite simply the place that calls to you, that welcomes you. And Jace, Ambuhotan will welcome you, brave Kadungganan, anytime. And he reaches his hands to embrace your large crocodilian arm.
Jace accepts it, but at the same time, he kind of looks at his family and says, Thank you, Elder. I just I sit somewhere in between. I think a lot of the Lakanit does. We have our old history. Our families come from different places. Mine from here is the Pale King said something really unsettling. That the islands will destroy one another. That our demise is at the point of each other's spears, as he looks at Egil. And I think there's a way, maybe, that we can at least try and live beside one another and accept that we are multifaceted, that we're, and Jace kind of looks up and the clouds part a bit as the sun beats down on him, and his blue scales are actually like prismatic. They have this like the quality of oil that shows lots of different colors. And he says, I think we're kaleidoscopic, you know? We're made of so many things. I don't know. All I know is family is it. Family is the way to salvation.
The elder smiles and nods. Then we must not allow destruction to reach us. We are fighting on a new front, one that perhaps cannot be solved with swords and spears. I am proud to have you beside me, Jace. And he reaches, embracing your crocodilian arm in a gesture of love. Jace, you feel your arm shudder. And the elder gasps. The elder pulls his arm away, and there's blood trickling from the palm of his hand. He starts to stumble backwards.
Elder!
Jace,
Elder!
as you reach for the elder, you see your arm extend in front of you, and you see the signet ring gifted to you with a jagged needle having erupted from the bottom of it. Elder Makusog starts to stumble backwards, falls to the ground, dead.